Jesus Christ and Lucifer. The church wants you to believe that they're enemies, but what if they were actually the same? Not only does the Bible itself contain strong evidence towards this, but the evidence also exists in many secret gospels and Christian books that were banned and destroyed by the church. Now, why did the church destroy these so-called blasphemous and heretical books? Because of what they revealed. Many of them claimed to contain the secret truth. Could Jesus, the self-proclaimed light of the world and morning star, be the same being as Lucifer, whose name in Latin literally means light bringer and morning star? And could they have the same mission, to set humanity free and ultimately overthrow God? Now, I myself used to be a Christian when I was very young, and I was raised in a strict Christian household. And I remember being taught that Lucifer was absolutely evil. And most people imagine Lucifer as a dark, evil, satanic being with horns. But did you know the Bible actually describes Lucifer as having originated in heaven as a powerful angel of light? In Ezekiel, Lucifer is described as powerful, beautiful, and wise. But then, according to the Bible, Lucifer became corrupt and they led a revolution in heaven against God. But why? Why did Lucifer revolt against God? Understanding Lucifer's motivation for starting the war in heaven is key to understanding how Lucifer and Jesus are the same. Before we unravel the mystery of this war in heaven, let's take a closer look at the connection between Jesus, Lucifer, and light, because this connection to light is critical. Jesus himself claims to be the light of the world twice. Once in John 8:12, where he directly says, "I am the light of the world," and again in John 9:5, when he says, "When I am in the world, I am the light of the world." And in Revelation 22:16, Jesus identifies himself as the morning star. I, Jesus, am the root and the descendant of David, the bright morning star. Jesus is self-described as a bringer of light to the world and the morning star. And as I said earlier, Lucifer is a Latin name that means light bringer and morning star. And in Isaiah 14:12, a verse that many Bible scholars believe describes Lucifer, identifies him as the morning star. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth. Now it's clear that both Christ and Lucifer are light bringers and are identified as the morning star. But a closer look at Isaiah 14:12 reveals more critical information. Notice that Lucifer is also identified as the son of the dawn, originated in heaven, and was then cast to earth. Both Christ and Lucifer are described as powerful beings related to light that originated in heaven before arriving to earth. And in mainstream Christianity, Jesus is portrayed as the Son of God, sent from heaven to earth to save humanity, while Lucifer is portrayed as the son of the dawn, having fallen to earth from heaven after starting a revolution in heaven and attempting to overthrow God. But could these two stories actually be intertwined? Could they be the same? What exactly is Jesus trying to save humanity from? To understand the connection, we have to look deeper at Lucifer's attempt to overthrow God. According to the Bible, specifically Ezekiel, Lucifer wanted to become God. When the revolution against God failed and Lucifer was cast to earth, something seemingly strange happened. Lucifer began to tell humanity that they could become God, and this happens in the Garden of Eden. According to the Bible, the first humans, Adam and Eve, live in the garden where God has placed two important trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam he could eat from every tree except the tree of knowledge. And the Lord God commanded him, "You may eat freely from every tree of the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For in the day that you eat of it, you will surely die." Now, doesn't it seem a little strange that God would make knowledge forbidden? That detail is going to be important in just a minute. According to mainstream Christianity, Lucifer was in the Garden of Eden and, in the form of a serpent, told Eve she could become like God. The serpent said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will surely die." "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Now, of course, they ate, and they did not die. But could they become like God? Let's look at this deeper. The Bible views Lucifer as a being who desires to be God and tells humanity that they can be like God. The question is, has Jesus ever done the same? In the Gospel of John, it says, "We are not stoning you for any good work," said the Jews, "but for blasphemy, because you who are a man declare yourself to be God." Jesus replied, "Is it not written in your law, 'I have said you are gods'?" That verse comes from the Gospel of John, from the Bible. But did you know there is a secret book of John? What I'm about to show you is absolutely incredible. The secret book of John is a book that claims to contain secret information, and this secret information was so blasphemous that it was declared a heresy and banned by the church. The secret book of John reveals that it was Jesus in the garden that caused Adam and Eve to eat from the forbidden tree of knowledge. Jesus said, "As for the tree called the knowledge of good and evil, it is the wisdom of the light. They commanded him not to eat from it. However, I caused them to eat." The connection between Christ and Lucifer here is crystal clear, and you can see why this made the church so angry. But it's about to get even more intense. Here we have another clear connection between Jesus and Lucifer, as well as with light. But you might be wondering, why would Jesus cause them to eat from the tree of knowledge and go against God's command? That brings us to our next connection, because like Lucifer, Jesus wants to overthrow God. Now, does that sound crazy? Well, get ready, because there's a mountain of evidence that says just that. According to the secret Gospel of John, God is not the true God at all. He's a liar, a deceiver. The true God is actually a pure divine mind that exists in and emanates a realm of light called the pleroma. And all things, all beings, all creation, including us, are pieces of and part of the divine mind. The God of the Bible, however, is an evil being of chaos and darkness, a false pretender God. You might call him the shadow of light. This evil God created a malformed realm of matter and trapped souls of light into bodies in order to enslave humanity. You see, according to the secret book of John, we are all part of the divine mind and the realm of pure light, and that means we are all divine. We are the true God. But the evil God of the Bible took pieces of the divine mind, which is what we are, and trapped us in physical bodies as prisons and caused us to forget our true nature, to limit our power, and so that we would worship him. And this is all described in the secret book of John. The secret book of John says, "The creator God's demonic forces envied the man. His understanding was far greater than that of those who had created him, and greater than that of the chief ruler himself. When they realized that he shone with light, they took him and cast him down into the lowest depths of the material world. They intended to make him anew, this time from earth, water, fire, and wind, which are matter, darkness, desire, the artificial spirit. This all became a tomb, a new kind of body. They enchained him in forgetfulness, made him subject to dying." And the secret book of John is far from the only book to reveal that the God of the Bible is an evil being. There are many other secret books that the church banned that say exactly that. In the Apocalypse of Adam, Adam tells his son Seth that he and Eve were originally one divine being that the evil God fractured and trapped in matter. Adam said, "And we resembled the great eternal angels, for we were higher than the God who had created us. Then God, the ruler of the eons and the powers, divided us in wrath, and we served him in fear and slavery." The evil God caused Adam and Eve to forget their divine origin, and he knew that if they ate from the tree of knowledge, they would begin to remember what they truly are. This is why he made it forbidden and said they would die if they ate from it. But in the Bible, the serpent, or Lucifer, tells them they won't die, but they will become like God. Now, in the secret book of John, Jesus says that he is the one that causes them to eat, so that they will wake up from sleep's death and be filled with the wisdom of the divine light. According to many of these books banned by the church, Jesus Christ isn't the son of the evil creator God. He's the son of the true God, meaning that he's one of the emanations or forms of the true God, as we all are, but we forgot our divine nature. He's a messenger from the true God, the divine mind, the realm of pure light. You might even call him the Son of Light. And his mission is to help humanity come to self-knowledge that they are divine and escape the evil creator God. Jesus is a light bringer sent to get humanity to realize that they are the true God and to end the rule of the evil creator God. Now, does that sound familiar? This is extremely close to the Bible's description of Lucifer, the morning star and light bringer, the son of the dawn, or son of light, that desired to overthrow the God of the Bible and bring humanity the message that they could be like God if they ate from knowledge. Could it be that Lucifer is actually the good guy here, and the church just wants to portray anything and anyone that says you are God as evil, so they can maintain their power? In another banned gospel, the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus reveals we come from the realm of living light and are the true sons of God. Jesus said, "If they ask you, 'Where are you from?' reply to them, 'We have come from the place where light is produced from itself. It came and revealed itself in their image.' When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known, and you will realize that it is you who are the sons of the living Father." Now, even if you want to discount the books banned by the church and go strictly by what's in the Bible, you have to explain why there is such a huge difference between the Old Testament God and Jesus Christ of the New Testament. The God of the Bible is a jealous, vindictive war machine, even in terms of what's described in the Bible. He drowns the entire world in the flood described in the book of Genesis. He accepts Jephthah's daughter as a burnt virgin sacrifice, and he has all the male firstborn children and animals of Egypt killed to intimidate the Pharaoh. He is obsessed with death and violence. And remember, all that comes from the Bible itself, not the banned books. But Jesus is the complete opposite. Jesus preaches a message of love and forgiveness. In fact, he directly contradicts what God said in the Old Testament. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.' But I say to you, if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also." The difference between the God of the Old Testament and Jesus Christ is so drastic, the exact opposite of each other, that many early Christians and groups came to the conclusion that the God of the Old Testament was not the true God. Many of them concluded that he was outright evil, like the Marcion, Sethian, and Cainite Christians. And others, like the Valentinians, they believed that he was a lesser God. There are so many early Christian groups that came to this conclusion that I don't have the time to list them all here. It wasn't until the church established orthodoxy in Rome and many books were banned, destroyed, and so-called heretics arrested that this view was all but destroyed, stamped out, eliminated. In fact, in another heretical gospel, the Gospel of Judas, Jesus outright says that the 12 disciples worship an evil God, that they have no idea who Jesus is, and will lead all their followers astray. The disciples said to him, "Master, why are you laughing at our prayer?" He answered and said to them, "I'm not laughing at you. You're not doing this because you want to, but because through this your God will be praised." They said, "Master, you are the Son of our God." Jesus said to them, "How do you know me? Truly I say to you, no generation of the people among you will know me." The disciples tell Jesus about a vision that they've had where they see people sacrificing animals and children and committing murder. Jesus then tells them that their vision represents the evil things that they will do, the false god that they serve, and the people that they'll lead astray. Jesus said to them, "You're the ones receiving the offerings on the altar you've seen. That's the God you serve. And you're the 12 people you've seen. And the animals you saw brought in to be sacrificed are the crowd you lead astray." According to the Gospel of Judas, Jesus is making it clear that the disciples have no idea who he truly is, and that they'll lead the world astray. In other words, what will eventually become mainstream Christianity is wrong, because what will become mainstream Christianity relies heavily on the testimony of the disciples. And they were absolutely wrong about who God is and who Jesus really is, going so far as to get it completely backwards. So who or what is the true God and who is Jesus? Jesus takes Judas aside and reveals secret knowledge. Jesus said, "Come, and I'll teach you about the mysteries that no human will see, because there exists a great and boundless realm whose horizons no angelic generation has seen, in which is a great invisible spirit, which no angelic eye has ever seen, no heart has ever comprehended, and it's never been called by any name. And a luminous cloud appeared there, and he, the Spirit, said, 'Let an angel come into being to attend me.' And a great angel, the self-begotten, the God of the light, emerged from the cloud. And he said, 'Let a luminous realm come into being.' And it came into being. And that's how he created the rest of the realms of light." Jesus is revealing to Judas that the true God is a luminous divine mind and generated a realm of light. Jesus, the light of the world and self-proclaimed morning star, is not the son of the evil creator God, but comes from the realm of divine light. You might even call him the son of light, like Lucifer, the light bringer's title, Son of the Dawn. Looking at what the Bible says, we clearly see the connection between Jesus and Lucifer in the form of light. The light of the world on one hand, and the light bringer on the other. Both are called the morning star. Mainstream Christianity interprets Lucifer as wanting to be God, and Jesus is called God, or the Son of God. Lucifer tells humanity they can be like God, and Jesus alludes to this as well in the Gospel of John. Lucifer tells this to Eve when he caused her to eat from the tree of knowledge. In the banned book, The Secret Book of John, Jesus says that he was the one in the garden that caused Adam and Eve to eat from the fruit. Both Christ and Lucifer share the goal of overthrowing the Creator God. Christ is revealed to be a son of light, and Lucifer is the son of the dawn. In fact, the vast majority of the Gospel of Thomas is Jesus communicating to the reader that they are beings of light and can become God when they look within and realize their divinity. Looking at all this evidence, what do you believe? Do you believe that Jesus Christ and Lucifer are in fact the same being, and that mainstream Christianity twisted their interpretation of Jesus and made Lucifer into a villain in order to make being like God seem evil? Or do you believe in the standard interpretation? Or do you believe something else entirely? Tell me in the comments. But I'll tell you my position. Lucifer and Christ, they're archetypes. They're symbols. But they're the same archetype. In other words, Lucifer and Christ both represent the idea of someone with knowledge of what reality truly is, choosing to share that knowledge with humanity so humanity can become divine. It's the archetype of the illuminated liberator, someone who has truly achieved a higher consciousness that has devoted their lives to liberating humanity through wisdom. That is what Lucifer is. That is what Christ is. They are the same archetype. Those that do that, they are Lucifer, and they are Christ. The message is, don't worship God, become God. And this is, of course, the complete opposite of how Christ is depicted in mainstream Christianity, and much closer to how they portray Lucifer, but they make it seem evil. If you want to know more about the banned books and what they say, check out this video here and make sure you subscribe, since we explore many of them during my live streams. And if you haven't already, like this video so it spreads like fire. A big shout out to my supporters on Patreon. Patreon is what makes my work possible. So if you enjoy my work, consider supporting on Patreon so it can get bigger, better, and spread across the world. You'll also get access to secret live streams, my lecture notes, and a lot more. My name is Morg, and I am Hyperion. Hail New Terra.